Republican congressional leaders don't believe they have time to complete a fiscal year spending deal by Friday, even if there happens to be a breakthrough in negotiations. A person familiar with talks say they're now weighing a stopgap extension until February 16th. Bloomberg editor Jodi Schneider joins us now with more. Jodi, I suppose the more cynical ones of us were suspecting a kicking the can down the road scenario all along. But what's the likelihood that we'll actually have a shutdown on Friday? Is there any chance that a deal will be done?
Well, it's looking less likely that they'll get a deal on DACA. This is the law under which young people who are undocumented immigrants who are in this country, were brought to this country as children, are allowed to stay. It was an Obama-era law, and President Trump has said he doesn't want it. He wants to see a change. But the Democratic leaders in Congress are demanding that something be done with DACA as part of the price for their votes for a spending bill. Government funding does run out at the end of the week. So this has been back and forth now for a while. The president's comments this weekend that he wasn't sure that they were going to get a deal on DACA, and also blaming Democrats for that, saying that they won't they are not being serious about this, and they are not being serious about his demand that there be more border funding. So it sounds like maybe DACA is going to be more complicated, yet the fact that they are talking about a short-term fix in the spending, just a month now, means that they will probably get some kind of deal. Again, we may be dealing with all these issues in another month.
Yeah, exactly. Jodi, let's take a broader look now at Trump's first year, the first year that was his administration. What have been the implications of his tough talk on foreign policy, particularly when it comes to North Korea?
Yeah, he's been very confrontational, as we know, with North Korea, increasingly so over the year. Started off with saying some things about the leader there, and then making them very personal, continuing to call him Rocket Man, and in his speech to the UN, really coming down on North Korea. So he's ratcheted up the confrontation level with North Korea, and done things like increase sanctions, taken it on the world stage. But then in other areas, he has also tried to come to other leaders and say, I want your help with North Korea, at the same time that he is walking away from things like, potentially like the Iran agreement, which would isolate the U.S. further.
These moves to kind of the fears, I guess, as we got into the Trump presidency of an isolationist United States across areas as, geopolitical confrontation, climate change. Has this actually created the opportunity for China to kind of bolster its position on the global stage?
Yes, I think so, because the U.S., in terms of walking away, for instance, from the Paris Agreement on climate change, it really does give the president of China an opportunity to step up where President Trump has not, and some other world leaders as well. We're seeing that again on Iran. The fact that the U.S. may walk away from this deal gives France and other countries where they are for the deal, and where they have said that Iran is in compliance with the measures in the accord, it gives them standing to say that they are taking leadership on this. So when President Trump walks away for some of these things, it really does create an opening for other world leaders, including China's leader, to take up that slack.